Now, let's have a look at all of this and let me try and explain what it's about. I admit it's not my best work, but it's still legible, I think, and let me try and reason through it. Here's my two inequalities, okay? What's all of this work about? I'm just trying to get the boundaries. That's it, okay? You can see I've got no shading on there. I'm going to get to that part in a second. So I just worked out, because the circle was in a nice form, there's my center and radius. This is about finding out where the circle hits the axes, okay? The horizontal ones are easy. The vertical ones, you've got some surds, so that's why I had to go through this, right? What's this big long mess here? You can blame the fact that I didn't choose nice numbers. If I chose nice numbers, these would all be integers. But as it is, I mean, I've seen something like this before, and it's not that bad. What am I doing? I'm trying to find where this diagonal line, should have another diagonal on it, the boundary, right, the linear boundary, where does it intersect with the circular boundary? That's all, okay? And it turns out to be some not particularly nice points, but you do have to find what they are. I've made them hollow circles at the moment because I don't know whether they're going to be filled or not. There'll be a good reason to think they won't be, okay? Now that I've got my boundaries, what do? I want to know each boundary divides up the plane into different sections, right? So with this line, you can go up or down. So let's think about that. We want to know which area, so how do you do that? How do you find out which one it is? What do you do? Just test the point, okay? And the easiest point you can get is the origin, right? So let's put in 0, 0, okay? 0, 0. 0 is less than or equal to 2, sorry, greater than 2 minus 0. Is that true? No, it is not. So the origin is not in the region we're interested in. So we're looking up, okay? Now, normally you would shade that part. I'm not going to do that now because I'm going to make a disaster of my graph. But I just want to keep in my head, okay? Therefore, above the straight line. Okay, now, after that, I think I have the circle. So have a look at this, right? Less than 9. Now again, you can test the point, okay? But I think there's a better way to do it. You can reason through, what does this mean? Okay? What possible values could this have? So you could have 8.9 or 8 or 7 or 6, they'd all be fine. What does this number mean? This number on the right hand side has an effect, right? What's it about? It defines the radius, square, right? So as this number gets smaller, the radius gets smaller. So in other words, what this means is all of the circles that have a radius less than 3. Okay? So it's inside the circle. That's what I'm thinking of. Okay? So I think that's faster and more intuitive than testing a point. Okay? So I'm above the straight line. I'm inside the circle. Right? And that'll be up. Yeah.
With the testing points and everything, you can do that all in your head, right?
Yeah.
Or you don't have to write that all
down. Just like that, really. And usually it's quite trivial. As opposed to this stuff, which, if I did it in my head, I don't have problems. Okay, so. Alright, now which part is that? That looks like this part to me. Okay? So, now that I've got my main area, I just have to check the boundaries and which parts are important. The circle doesn't include the boundary. So I'm just going to leave that dotted. The straight line, though, does include, right? So the straight line part of it will be filled. Now, those endpoints, which I went to so much trouble to find, these 3 on root 2, blah, 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 okay? Are they going to be filled, or are they going to be hollow? Well, when I look at a point, right, it'll satisfy this inequality, but it won't satisfy this one, right? Because it's just not including the boundary, right? So those hollow circles, I'm going to leave them. Okay, just to remind you, since they're both not inclusive, they'll be hollow. That's another way to remember. Okay? Here's my graph. I'm done. Lots of little things to fall into, so just be careful. Okay?